was helpful to me in this role of encouraging, just encouraging. And as I look back at it, it's not like I had a deep relationship with him. We didn't have conversations. We didn't go on long walks. I mean, no, none of that. It was just that in those important moments in my life, um, he was there to encourage and say, yes, you can do this. And here's something I can do to help support it. So that was a pretty important one, kind of elementary through high school. Um, in college, it was a professor whose lab I started working in. And like so many things, it was just a series of historical accidents that got me into that particular lab at that particular time. But it turned out to have a really, really significant impact on my life. Um, this was an individual who most people would describe as a little bit quirky, as are most of us scientists, right? We're a little bit quirky by nature. And his way of mentoring was pretty unusual. Again, it wasn't, let's sit down and talk about your life and where you're going with things. It was more that he would notice that I was pretty good at washing the dishes. So he wondered if I could do something else. So he'd give me another task and another task and another task. And before long, I was running whole experiments. I was the undergraduate in the department that was kind of functioning almost like a graduate student. And it was just because he kept giving me rope and I kept taking it. And then he also advised me on where to go to college. So this is one of those little secrets I hesitate to share it with people, but I started college thinking I wanted to become a physician. So I started out pre-med. Now it was a great way to start because you knew that to get into med school, you had to get good grades, you had to work hard and so on. So it kept me motivated. But with time, I kind of went, what am I thinking about here? This is not what I want to do. And I was really getting the research bug. I mean, I really enjoyed working in the lab and doing that. And so my mentor then was one of those people who kind of then helped show me how I could do this, where I could go, and actually encouraged me to think about the earlier years that played a really important role. I don't know if I can jump forward to a more recent one, but over that 30 years that I was a professor at Oregon State University, the name that comes to mind is Roy Arnold. So, and it still kind of hurts to think that he left us earlier than he should have. But yeah, Roy was a terrific mentor to me. And it's not to say that he was the only person I would turn to. I had a lot of people that I could get advice from at OSU, but Roy was just one that I could always count on to give me advice and to help me out. He was the guy I would go to when I had important decisions to make. Do I make this jump to honors college? I called up Roy and said, Roy, can we have a cup of coffee? I got to talk to you about something. And I didn't do it often with him, but again, when I did, he was just terrific. And then Roy is also one of those guys, if you're lucky, you have a few people in your life who you can look to and ask yourself, what would Roy do in this situation? And Roy was people. So if I found myself in any situation, a decision I had to make, if I could just sort of sit back and go, now, what would Roy do in this situation? That would usually help me to figure out the right thing to do. So Roy, over those 30 years, was just a terrific mentor and friend.